rather than just spew out nonsense and don't actually think about what they're saying to the person that's created the video. Anyway. Well, hello, I hope you are all well. If you are new around here, hello, it is lovely to meet you. And if you are returning, thank you very fucking much for coming back. My name's ALANNA and I'm a 36-year-old lady living in Scotland, and that is where the accent is from. And if you haven't been here before, this channel is predominantly all things beauty, skincare, lifestyle, travel-y, bloggery, vloggery, bullshit, but with a liberal sprinkling of sarcasm and cynicism thrown in on top. Now there is a subscription button in the corner if that sounds like your cup of tea. If not, that's absolutely fine too, just skedaddle along your way. Like the video, all that other kind of YouTuber crap. So this video is going to be my monthly roundup for the month of February. I feel like February obviously is the shortest month of the year. I heard those words coming out my mouth there and I thought, well, fucking clearly it is the shortest month of the year. But it really feels like such a short month, even though it's only, what, 4 days shorter? Is that right? Depending on the month, I suppose, if it's a 30 month or a 31 day month. But I just feel like it feels tiny. It just feels such a short month. So there isn't loads to talk about in this video with regards to faves and fails and all that other kind of stuff. But I'm going to dive into the things I've been using this month, what I've been putting on my face. And we are going to have a bit of a skincare chat and a skincare update with regards to Dermatica. Oh, word of warning too, I do like a sweary word. If you're new around here and you're not into that kind of thing, my sincerest apologies, but it just kind of flows off the tongue when you're Scottish. So first of all, let's just talk about the fact that there is a lovely amount of natural sunlight beaming through my window today. Now I do have my little lights set up just in case I need to turn them up, because in Scotland you never know whether the sun's going to stay or whether it's going to bugger off behind a cloud within 2 seconds flat. But it's so nice to be filming in a little bit more daylight. I cannot wait for spring to be around the corner. I'm saying that, and as I film this today, it's the 1st of March, and I'm just like, it's absolutely freezing outside. It's kidding us on with that sunshine, because the other day I was like, oh, what a glorious day. And then I went outside with bare ankles and was like, Jesus Christ, it's freezing. I don't know about where it is in your part of the world at the moment, but certainly in Scotland, and I think specifically all of Britain, is still absolutely fucking freezing. But I am very much looking forward to lighter nights are creeping back in, all that kind of stuff. I'd seen Michaela McDade recently talking about how she feels like instead of New Year and January, we should really kickstart in March when the spring comes in. And I'm kind of on board with her with that one, because it's like, why would we want to kickstart when it's still dark and dull and we're all still like, oh, so negative that time of the year in the depths of winter. Whereas if we start now when things are just starting to flourish and come to life, like fucking nature is just automatically kind of doing that at this time of year. I think even in this video talking, you'll be able to tell I'm a little bit more like, oh, want to chat about things, because it just makes you feel that little bit better. So let's start off with things that are actually on my face today, and then I'll kind of let you know about other little bits and bobs that I've been using. So I have gone back to using quite religiously the Glossier Future Dew as my kind of base. If you have been here for any length of time, you will know that for some reason or another, like in the winter months, I kind of like a little slightly heavier coverage. I think because I am pretty pale and I don't really get any colour in the winter time. We don't see sunlight, as I'm saying, for a good part of about 8 months of the year here in Scotland. I'm kidding, not quite that long, but not far off it. We don't get a lot of sunlight, so I'm a little bit more like putting on a little foundation just to make me look a little more healthy rather than drained of all the vitamin D. And in the summer months, I like to go a lot lighter, a lot less coverage, and just a little bit of concealer here and there. And as we move into spring, I have found myself replacing my foundations or my kind of tinted moisturizers and just using a little bit more of a skincare and a base along with a concealer. So I've dug back into this. This is a miniature size that I picked up. I did buy it in a full size before, but because of the amount of stuff that I use and flip between all the different products that I own, I didn't use that up, so I thought it was a waste of money to get a full size, so I picked up the smaller one because I know I will use all of this up. I also want to talk to you about this palette. This is from Oma Beauty. Now this was sent to me in PR from Oma. Now this is not a new palette. This one is one of their Blackmagic palettes, and it is in Royal Heritage or Heritage. I'm going to show you. Can you see that there? So it's not a new palette, Royal Heritage, heritage, like the heir to the throne, blah, blah, blah. Very good play on words there, guys. And when I got this, I remember, if you go and see the PR video, I was like, Not really my colour story. Don't really like it. I have to say, throughout the month of February, this has not been off my eyes. Even towards the end of January, this has not been off my eyes. And it's what I've got on today. It's just a beautiful, soft pink, but like you can make other things with this. It's not just pink. Obviously today it looks very pink on my eyes. But what I would say is that, see, when I was looking at these shades, for instance, I thought everything looked very muted. But actually what I've got on my eyes today is this one here, which is Da Honey. This one here, which is Sokoto. I hope I'm pronouncing these right. And this one up here, which is actually like a multi-chrome, duochrome, rosy gold situation there. Can you see that? Amazing. So that's what I've kind of got on in the middle, is a little bit pop, and then I've got a Shanty on as just a very slight liner on the corners there. And I feel like when I looked at it in the palette, I thought this looks like a very muted palette, but actually the colour payoff of these shadows is so fucking good that actually you wouldn't necessarily think that this in the outer corner here is this shade, or this here is what I've got in the majority of the lid. I should mention as well that I actually have a base on with this. A base, it's actually a matte liquid eyeshadow, and it is from Gen C, and this is Reef. So it's like this kind of beigey orange colour. It's like a very muted coral colour, and I put this down as a little bit of a base because I thought, oh, I just want a little soft wash of colour today. And then I started playing with this and it all just got a bit carried away with itself. But I have used this on its own and it gives just as good a punch of colour to the eyes. And I have to say, I'm actually really pleasantly surprised with this. The problem is, I think I'm telling you about this, and there'll be a few other things in this video as well possibly, and you can't pick this up anymore. I feel like this is for their black, they do like a Black History Month thing, and I think they've got a new one out at the moment. I'm going to put a picture here if I can find it. And just while I'm filming this, I am going to double check that because I can't see this palette on sale anywhere anymore. So the one that is available in Boots at the moment from Oma, it's actually, I'm just checking on my phone there, is the Blackmagic Carnival eye palette. So this is the Blackmagic, as I said, Royal Heritage palette. I feel like this one came out with other palettes as well. It may be this one. I'm going to just actually check the Oma site to see. So they have the Carnival one, which is the one that's on Boots. They have Poise, which is like kind of got a blue hint to it. And they have Allure, which is Allure the new one? Again, let me just check their Instagram. So no, the new one is actually the Blackmagic Freedom palette, I want to say. I'm just checking on their Instagram there. And it definitely has like loads of duochromes in it as well. So I feel like they make lots of different versions of this Blackmagic palette. And I know for a fact that the new one, the Freedom one, is for, I was going to say Black History Month, but I don't want to speak out of turn here. But it says on this post, basically, if you choose the Freedom palette or the lipstick, 100% of the net proceeds will be allocated to the Pull Up for Change Impact Fund. So I knew it was something to do with a charity and a fund that it was going towards. And that's why I'm wondering, like, have they done that every year with these Blackmagic palettes? And this is one from a previous year that they'd sent me, because I cannot find this anywhere. So if you are interested, they obviously still have the 3 on their site that you can go and get. There's one in Boots as well. I believe my friend Seffi said that they have one on John Lewis as well that she was trying to get her hands on. It's like they don't stock all of them in the one place other than on their website. And this one I cannot find anywhere. I don't know if this one sold out fast or because it didn't sell well. That's why they still had a few left over and they sent it over to me. But the formula of these shadows is 10 to none. 10 to none. It is fantastic. I really like the shadows from their Oma by Sharon C range as well, especially considering they're a bit more of a drugstore budget brand. But these are perfection, chef kiss, all that kind of stuff. So if you can find it, if any of my lovely viewers, followers, subscribers can find it, let me know, because I would love to be able to link it down below. But what I will do is just link direct to Oma to show you the other Blackmagic palettes they've got at the moment, because this pink one, I can't find it anywhere. So that was a bit of a surprise to me. Not a surprise, it just was a lucky kind of surprise, because I thought, I'm never going to wear those colours, they're not my kind of thing. And then when I started using it, I was like, very nice, very nice. So also, as I said, on my eyes, I have the Gen C matte, what are these called? What's the proper name for these? Mixed Media Matte Liquid Eyeshadow. This was sent to me in PR as well. They also sent over, what's the other one called? Plush, which is a gorgeous kind of grungy brown colour. Oh, it's very, very nice. But I have raved about these before. This is not new to my channel. I've been using them for ages. Now, also on my face today, I am using this from Studio London. This is their Flaunt Flawless Blusher, lip and cheek colour. And this is in the shade Inner Glow. If you'd seen my previous video, a kind of overview of Studio London brand and what I'm thinking of them, this is the one that I was like, oh, it's a little bit softer. It's a little bit more of a kind of soft peachy pink colour as opposed to Passion, this one here, which is like obviously a very bright pink colour. But this is the one I have on today, and with this look it goes a lot better than the Passion colour. I mean, I could have put Passion on too. They both probably would have looked very, very nice. But this one in particular today I thought was a very nice soft wash of colour. I'm also using the You Do You Balm from them today as well, just in these areas here. So as you probably know, I kind of have been raving about these. These and the cream bronzer as well. I think they're very, very nice. And considering the price of them, I just think this little brand is doing great things at the moment. But what I'm going to say is recently I tried this out. This is the PS, as in Primark Beauty, Dual Tone Blusher right here, as you can see. Who do we think this is a dupe for? I wonder. I'm going to put my reel here if you haven't seen it already. Basically, I have the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic blusher in Pillow Talk, and it was one of my favourite powder blushers. Really, really loved it. There's a lot of things from Charlotte Tilbury that I'm like, okay, it's a little overrated, but I have to say the Cheek to Chic blushers are lovely. However, I opened it just at the start of the month and it just fell out the pan. I didn't drop it, I didn't do anything like that. Just the whole powder bit just went and fell on the floor. And I was like, are you kidding me? So I kind of squashed it back in and was like, we'll see what we do. But I can't put it anywhere now. It needs to be laid flat all the time because it's fell apart. But I seen someone talking about these from Primark and I was like, yes please, I would like to try that. And I did put a reel up comparing the two. And here is why I love long form content, because when you see things just next to each other in a very quick 60 to 90 second reel, TikTok or short, whatever the thing is you're doing, I feel like it's not apparent of maybe exactly what the views are of the person using it, how it went on, how it worked, all that kind of stuff. And somebody very kindly, you'll know who it is because there's only one comment on the short, was like, the Primark one looks too shiny, it just looks bad, it's horrible. And I was like, okay, thanks for your input there, guys. But when I've posted about it on the likes of Instagram, people have a conversation about it rather than just spew out nonsense and don't actually think about what they're saying to the person that's created the video. Anyway, so this is nice. Is it an exact dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury? No, not by any means. But this is £4.50 and the Charlotte Tilbury is £34, right? Now, here's the thing. When I put it on in that reel, I do agree with the person that the Primark side is a lot more highlighty. It's very, very sheeny, and it is a sheeny blush. What I've found this works better and a better way of using it is going in on the coloured side, the little coloured bit, the pigment bit, and popping that on as a blush. And then going into the highlight and popping that on the top. With the Charlotte Tilbury one, I find I can swirl my brush in, put it on, and it goes on flawlessly, very smooth. I mean, it's £34, you would hope so. And they've got colour there, but you also have sheen without it looking like a stripe of highlighter. I feel like this one is so sheeny that if you do just put it straight on your face after swirling your brush, it does look particularly Tin Man effect. Have I got too much dew on here to pull this off? I hope not, hopefully not. So I'm just going to show you on this side because I've turned the light up a little bit so you can see. What I found is using this brush here, this is a LARAFAYE F13. Very, very nice brush. I actually love the F02 and the F13 from LARAFAYE, two of my absolute favourites. This was originally sent to me in PR, but I went and bought another one because I love this brush so much. Same with the F02. So I'm going to go in on the side here where the pigmented part is and just pop that onto the cheeks. Now there is definitely, you see it there is definitely pigment there. Is this side going to blend as easily as the Charlotte side? Is it going to be as flawless, as seamless and as smooth? Probably not. No, I mean look, lots of pigment there. But what I would say is, again, it's £4.50. What are you expecting from a £4.50 blush? And once you actually get it on and you've blended it a little bit and you've got it going on here, there we go. And then I go into the bit in the middle, very, very kind of cautiously. I don't put too much of this on because I feel like the blush is already relatively sheeny. I just add it to the So up there, this little here. Obviously today, I've got a completely different blush on this side to this side, so it's going to be very apparent. But if I was to go and get my Charlotte Tilbury blush, swirl it, and then pop it on this side, is there very much difference in the two? This is a little sheenier, yes, but used with caution. And as I say, if you do it so you just place in the highlight just where you want it, rather than swirling the brush, you get a beautiful, soft, candlelit glow like you get with the Charlotte Tilbury. And this is why, as I've already said, I much prefer long form content, because I can actually tell you, okay, here's the pros and cons to this product. Is it a definite match to the Charlotte Tilbury? No, absolutely not. Is it a really good alternative dupe for £4.50? Abso-fucking-lutely it is. And I think if you use it with a little bit more caution and a little less oomph like I did in the reel, and that's because simply I was just like, right, how does this compare to the other one? You don't get a chance in short form content to explain all that. You need to either put it in your description box, who might read that. I feel like the kids nowadays don't have the attention span to be doing that, or until somebody comments something kind of horrible and is like, that looks like shit, and you're like, actually listen, I've learned how to use it another way. It's actually a pretty good dupe if you just give it a chance. And that is it on both of my cheeks there. And I think £4.50, I think it's a fucking winner. I think it's really, really nice. I am going to go back to Primark and try out a few other things that they have, because I thought that is very, very nice. So now that I feel I've probably overdone the blush a little bit, what else have I been wearing a lot this month? I have not been doing loads and loads of eyeshadow. Like, I've been using that palette, but not loads of like different colours or loads of different kind of styles, eyeliners, all this kind of stuff. I feel like this month has been particularly tough. Jack started nursery. Actually, do you know what? I never ever finished my cream blush videos either, because he started them one week and it was just a little bit too much to be trying to film every single day and make sure he was okay and make sure he was in nursery. He stopped sleeping as well. It just put him all out of kilter. So I still have a few blushes to add to those blush videos, and I actually ended up buying more cream blushes. So there's going to be more cream blush videos coming, don't worry. But that, along with just couldn't be arsed to get ready in the morning. Like, I couldn't bring myself to be getting loads of makeup on my face every day because I had other priorities on my mind. And I really just had to make sure he was okay, make sure the house was okay, make sure things were ticking over. I actually ended up going back to the gym. I know. Because last month or the month before I was like, fuck the gym. It's not the thing that makes me feel good. And I have to agree. I went back to the gym and it doesn't actually make me feel better in the moment. But I know now, as we're kind of 2-3 weeks into me going back, I will feel better if I keep going, and I'm going to feel the benefits for my diabetes and my heart problems. It's going to be all grand, great, fantastic. But do I actually love going to the gym? No, I don't. I would rather be sitting here filming a little half-hour video than spending half an hour in the gym. But we have to prioritise and make sure we're staying healthy. So we went back to the gym. So there was all these other things this month that just came as a priority as opposed to doing makeup and stuff. So I have been reaching for these quite a lot. These are the Bodyography Glitter Pregnants. I have spoke about these for a few years now. And what am I holding? Stratus, Supernova, and Illusion. Now, these two I bought by myself. This one I was sent in PR. And I have to say, Illusion is a beautiful gold, but with a pink shift, a green gold even, but with like a pinky shift. I don't really know how to explain it any other way. It's not like a colour I've ever experienced in a palette before, but it definitely looks very heavily gold on your hand. You can see it there. But when you get that shift, and you're not going to see it in that light, it definitely has a kind of warmer pink undertone. You maybe see it on that finger a little bit better. So what I have been doing is kind of just splashing this on my eye, maybe putting a little bit of mascara on and being my way, because I feel like it shows, like, you know, I put a little bit of effort in, I put a little something on, but not too much. Me and Alan actually went on a little date night this month as well. It was the first time that Jack has stayed over at grandparents, so first time like away from home type thing. Tell a lie. I went to a friend's wedding once when he was a little bit younger, and he stayed over that night as well, maybe the second time. I've done like a little date night look, and I used Supernova, which again, just a stunning colour. It's like a green, but it almost has flecks of teal and blue in it, and I would say gold too. Like, it's a very, very interesting colour, this one. Now these are available from Guru Makeup Emporium here in the UK, and it was them that sent me the Illusion as PR via Bodyography. But as I say, these two I bought with my own money, and the last one is Stratus, which is a beautiful, like, soft pink. It's like a glittery, soft pink, and it's got a little bit of that shifty duochrome thing to it, but it's more of just like a straight up glittery pink colour. And again, with this palette, is looking absolutely beautiful. So I feel like these have been staples that I've been using quite a lot this month, but mainly because I just couldn't be bothered doing loads and loads of exciting things on my eyes. It was just easier to sweep a little bit of something sparkle on my lid, put some mascara on, and be on my merry way. And speaking of mascaras, again, I'm going to mention this. It is the Oma by Sharon C Bader Boom Au Natural Volumizing Mascara. Again, this is what is on my face today. I don't have any of the Bodyography on my face today, but this is the mascara that I'm wearing today. This is a fucking fantastic mascara. I think it's £8. It is a wonderful mascara from the drugstore. I think it's very, very good. Available at Superdrug here in the UK. Oh, I forgot to speak about this when we were talking about blushes. Another little blush palette. We're going to keep this very short and sweet because you can no longer get this either. It's a little bit like the eyeshadow palette. This is the e.l.f. Creme Blush palette in Soft. If you were watching my cream blush videos, you will have seen this. And I have to say, really, really unfortunately, this is just not available anymore. They don't seem to do it anymore. And it's really, really sad because I'm just going to show you. It pops out too. Like, they all pop out, and you could mix and match it because there was a like deep one as well, I want to say, that had like real berry tones and stuff in it. And I think that one is still available on the website, the Cream Blush palette, but the soft one is no longer available, and it's fucking lovely. And I was really glad that I kind of dipped into it again because I forgot just how lovely it was. If you could get your hands on this anymore, maybe it's still available over in the US or something like that, I would say absolutely give it a go, but unfortunately, no longer available here. So let's chat some skincare. Now, as I alluded to at the start of the video, I have now been using Dermatica for going on 6 months. And so far was like, do you know what, having great results, this, that and the other. I think even I have a PM skincare video coming up this week where I'm talking about it, talking about the little bit of irritation that I was getting from peeling and things like that, which all go hand in hand with retinol. But I ended up finding that actually this month, my skin became the worst it has ever been. And actually there's quite a lot of concealing going on here today. Now that is a double-edged sword because I did go to the doctor because I am not someone who has ever suffered with acne, breakouts, dermatitis, eczema, rosacea, things like that. Never ever. I got the odd blemish like hormonal breakouts and stuff, but never ever something that particularly bothered me with my skin. And I found that in this area here where I was getting the irritation and redness, which kind of kicked off as I moved up my retinol strength, I was like, this isn't going away. Like, even using a buffering cream, even skipping the retinol and only doing it maybe twice a week or something, this doesn't seem to be shifting. So I went to my doctor. I actually initially spoke to Dermatica and was like, listen, can you help me out? And they were very, very kind and were like, listen, this looks like what we think it might be, but go to your GP and get a formal diagnosis. So it turns out I had something called perioral dermatitis, which usually forms around about here, which again, these areas, and these areas are places where you can get a lot of irritation from retinol use. So I thought, oh, it's just the retinol. It's fine. Now, tretinoin can aggravate perioral dermatitis, which obviously I'm saying perioral, but obviously can sit around here as well, which is perinasal. And tretinoin can aggravate that, but it is not the cause of it. There is no obvious rhyme or reason why it happens. It can usually happen to women anywhere between like their 20s and their 50s. It just happens. And it can be a hormonal thing as well. It can be changes in your hormone balance. I am still getting blood tests and things like that with regards to my thyroid and thyroxine levels, all this other kind of stuff. So I wondered, is it a kind of endocrine thing that's going on? I don't know. So obviously, being someone that works in the medical profession myself, I don't work in dermatology, but my GP was like, stop using everything. Just stop using everything because we don't really know why this happens. Don't put any makeup on. Don't do this, don't do that. Wash your face with water. And I was like, have you met me, pal? Have you met me? But I'm also very aware that you do need to actually take some advice from your doctor every now and again and not just think, well, I'm going to do it anyway. Now I'm sitting here today and I do have concealer on over the top of the redness and area. I'm going to put some pictures here of when it was at its worst. Now this isn't actually as bad as it gets. If you Google perioral dermatitis, then you look at the images, some of them are much worse than what I've got going on here. So I did take the advice of the doctor and was like, do you know what? See if I have to just not wear makeup for a week straight and just use a really simple face wash, the CeraVe, which my doctor said should be fine. So I'm just using the big tub as well, the one that I would usually use on my body, because they are just two really basic face wash and skincare moisturising situation. During the day, I am still using the majority of my daytime routine, because I feel like everything I've been using in my daytime routine, I've been using for a long time. The Sally Hughes moisturiser I stopped using, and I went back to one that I'd used before. But I then, as things improved, started using this. And I know what you're all thinking. Like, if you don't know what's caused it and you don't know why it's happening, why are you trying new things? I know. Don't take my advice. I'm just telling you what I've done. And this is the IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream. And it's one of these anti-aging armour type things. And I got sent this, I won a prize. I won like a giveaway over on IT Cosmetics and they sent me 3 tubs of this. So I passed one over to my mother-in-law, I've got one here, and the other one I think I passed on to a friend. But basically I thought, well, I'm going to start using this. It looks like a really nice thick heavy moisturiser. So you can see I've actually made a really good dent in this. So I started using this. And at night time, I am just using the CeraVe moisturiser. Now that will change. And as I say, I do have a PM skincare going up that was filmed before this happened. So please keep that in mind. It kind of just meant that for a while, I was like, right, I'm not using anything. So today I have on my stretch concealer from Glossy over the areas where it is particularly red. And I also used my Dr. Jart Psychopair Tiger Grass Balm, the green one, which kind of helps with rosacea and redness, which has done the trick. Things seem to be improving, and I know anybody out there that's just wanting to absolutely cut my hands off and be like, just don't use anything, don't use concealers, don't use this, don't use that. I get it. But also, like for instance, when I said me and Alan went on a date night, I wasn't going to go out on a date night and not put any makeup on. I just wasn't going to do that. So there was at least a week straight where I was just like, right, not wearing anything, not doing this. I'm just gonna, let my skin breathe a little bit. But I did then be like, started creeping in with things again. And I feel like at the moment my skin is on the road to recovery, but not fully recovered. If I was to like wipe my face at the moment, you'd see there's quite a lot of kind of bumps and redness round about here still and round about this side of my nostril. If it doesn't improve, I will go back to the doctor again, because sometimes with perioral dermatitis, you do end up needing to have an antibiotic just to get rid of it. It doesn't mean to say like you've got dirty skin. It doesn't mean to say it's not spreading. It's not like a herpes virus or anything where, oh, I've touched here, now I've touched here, it's going to end up spreading about the place. It's not like that. It can be bacterial, which, if it is like that, then you should be watching where you're touching on your face, but it's not highly contagious or anything like that. But if it continues to spread a bit and doesn't seem to calm down, or it starts to flare up again, I will go back to my doctor and make sure that it's all right. So long story short is that I am not using retinol at the moment, and I again spoke to Dermatica and their customer service and their medical team, like their dermatology team, and they said that was absolutely fine, just like put a wee hold on it at the moment, and then when they want to start me back on my prescription from them, they will do it at a lower dose, which I am more than happy with. So actually, do I need to make that separate video now? Probably not, it'll be here. But I just felt like I should let you know that. I should be open about it, because even though you're maybe seeing me in the video at the moment and you think everything looks absolutely fine, if I was to zoom you in, you would notice flakiness, dryness, and even in the reels that I've done recently, you will notice my skin has really broke out in areas. Not because of the retinol, but it has certainly inflamed the issue that I had going on, which fuck knows why it happened, how it's happened, or what's going on. But I think that is it for this month. So as I said, not loads and loads of products. I've probably waffled on for a good half an hour anyway, but not loads and loads of products to tell you about. But I am going to film a new kind of What's New Wednesday, because I have loads of new stuff to talk about. I ordered the Glisten paints and mascaras. I am going to do an order with Merit as well, because it's a brand that I've wanted to try for so long. A little bit more of a bougie style brand, a little bit more expensive, but desperate to try them, and probably will have an up and coming video with them as well. I hope you're all having a lovely day, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.